Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, I'm Lawrence Nkwocha and it's nice to meet you. So today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 soft skills in 2024. Now, as you know, soft skills are skills that are not hard. They're not like vocational skills or technical skills. So the concept of soft skills are very simple. Now think about a computer system. A computer system has a hardware which is the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, and every other thing you can see and touch. But at the same time, a computer also has softwares or an operating system. So soft skills are to human beings what I'll call softwares, okay? So your soft skills are like your running programs. They are like your applications. They are like your softwares. You know, if you could think about how you use your phone for daily operations, you can go to your WhatsApp app or your Facebook app or your Instagram app or X or whatever it is. It's the same thing with your soft skills. At some point, you can choose to use leadership. At some point, you can choose to use adaptability. At some point, you can choose to use critical thinking. So that's how soft skills are. So we'll be looking at the top 5 soft skills because there are a lot of soft skills. But for 2024, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 soft skills and why you should learn these top 5 soft skills in 2024. So first of all, leadership. Now, leadership is such a very important soft skill because every single person is a leader. Yes, everybody's a leader, irrespective of your office or your particular designation in your place of work or your family or your business. Now, the important thing to know about leadership, just like John C. Maxwell, who is a leadership expert, of course, said, is that leadership is in different levels. As a leader, you are expected to be a 360 degrees leader. What exactly do I mean by that concept? Being a 360 degrees leader is that you're able to lead at the level at which you are, both leading your superiors. Yes, service is a form of leadership. So you could serve your superiors and tell them what to do in the process. Yes. So while you're serving them, you're observing how things are going on in the company. You're observing how things are going on in the business. And you're able to give some very constructive advice. That's still leadership. Then you can be able to lead amongst your peers. You know, everybody is waiting for somebody else to tell them what to do. Now, I need to listen very, very closely. It's important that you're always ready with a system and a plan in order to be able to give direction because everybody is always looking for direction at every point of their life. Okay, so you need to be that leader, and leadership starts by a personal decision. The personal decision to lead your own life to become very successful. And being successful in your private life is very subtle because only you know that you are successful in your personal life. In private, you know exactly the habits you do, you know the promises you keep to yourself, you know how much confidence you built in your work. So that's the interesting thing about leadership. Now, the last form of leadership is leading your subordinates. So those under you, how much of a leader are you to them? Are you able to show those under you what to do, how to maximize the resources, how to manage resources of the company, of the business, of the family, whatever position you find yourself, you're a leader. This is the reason why I say everybody's a leader, and leadership is the most important soft skill of 2024. Leadership is influence. Yes. How much of an influencer are you? Now, don't get it wrong. Influencing is not about how many people follow you on social media. People buy that. A lot of people go and they have people they pay to give them those numbers. Some people stumble on those numbers. Yes, it happens. Some people actually get stumbled on those numbers. What is important in influence is how you are able to articulate your intentions or the intentions of your organization or the family in order to be able to make people do what they wouldn't have willingly on their own. That is influence as a leader. And leadership pervades every single industry, especially here in Africa where there is great need for leadership in politics. Leadership is a very important soft skill to begin to cultivate. If you are not already a leader, begin to cultivate the skill of leadership. Read books. I would personally recommend books like 360 Leader from John C. Maxwell. In fact, Almost all his books are on leadership and they are very interesting. Then we also look at 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where Stephen R. Covey spoke about the independent leader, the interdependent leader, and also the dependence leader. So that's another very interesting book to read. The other interesting books that can actually teach you about leadership, and most importantly, don't just end at reading about leadership or listening to podcasts. Practice it. There are always people around you looking for who to lead them. It could be your small circle in church. It could be your small circle in school. Get involved. Don't just be impressed and be waiting for instruction at every point. Let them do it. Let them give us instruction. At some point, you need to begin to take initiative and create those instructions and create that pathway in order to give other people to follow. Now, moving to the second one, critical thinking. Critical thinking is a very important part of 2024. This is because we've advanced so far as a human race, and knowledge is becoming ubiquitous. Knowledge is every single place. When you Google something, you see different information from different perspectives. Almost everybody now has a microphone in their hand because anybody can set up a podcast and begin to do it. So it's very difficult most times, especially if you don't understand how the world works, to be able to differentiate the right things from the wrong things, because everybody always has an opinion. Now, but critical thinking will save you a lot of stress. Everything is competing for your attention, but having the mind of being critical will help you to be able to see all these things through the lens of your values and your systems. Because if you have the right values, you'll be able to look at opinions critically. Now, a lot of opinions online are wrong. You need to be able to think critically for yourself. Think based on your values, based on your systems, based on your knowledge, which you must ensure is a correct knowledge. What are you able to deduce? Now, for me, what I've been able to use to build my critical thinking cap is from the study of major books that I've done. Now, I've been able to study a lot of major books on principles and the power of right thinking, amongst which is the 66 books of the Bible, which I started studying as a very young child. Then I've also studied very interesting books like The Master Key System, Think and Grow Rich. These are very inspirational books I've been able to read. A Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. So they are very interesting books that can give you a foundational thought coupled with your academic education in order to be able to think critically. Okay? So when somebody is trying to spiritualize a concept, you need to think from different systems. Don't restrict yourself to a system of thought. I'm a trained scientist, but when you bring up anything, I don't just look at it from the system of thought of a scientist. I also look at it from the religious aspect of faith. I also look at it from the philosophical aspect, but I also don't fail to look at it from the scientific aspect. So critical thinking is a very major skill that you must build in the year 2024. Then thirdly is time management. Now, time management is very important because everything is competing for your attention. You open Instagram, there are a lot of content, funny ones, motivational ones, inspirational ones, not so helpful ones. There are different things competing for your attention. There's Netflix. We've never had so much information like we have in this year, 2024. There is a lot of information. We have access to different streaming platforms with a whole lot of films. I just opened Netflix and I got confused on the particular show to watch. So how exactly do you manage your time in order not to be able to lose sight of your goals? Time management. And the best way to be able to manage your time is through time blocking. Now, what is time blocking? You need to put time stamps on your day. So you have a particular task to carry out. You're going to carry it out from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Ensure you set a time frame for every single task, because whatever you set without putting a particular time frame to it is going to eat up the time and even more. So set a time frame for every single thing you want to do. And for me, I start my day very early, and before sunrise, I've been able to achieve a whole lot of things. So you can adapt similar strategy. Early rise is a very top secret. If you read a book by Robin Sharma, 5 a.m. Club, he was able to use storytelling to explain why waking up at 5 a.m. is a very, very important habit of every successful person. Okay, so early rise is very important. It's something about your circadian rhythm throughout the day. So time management is very important in order for you to be able to keep your attention, because your attention is the most expensive commodity in this economy. If you're able to manage your attention and put it in the right places where you need to focus, your 2024 goals are going to be achieved to a very, very large extent. So number 4, you need creativity. So what exactly would I call creativity? Creativity is that ability to be able to either begin to think of an idea that can turn into something big, or to synthesize different ideas to be able to innovate and create something entirely different. Creativity is very important, but I'll further go to say you don't just stop at creativity. You also need to be productive. Creativity is able to be able to conceptualize an idea that can be something. Productivity is to be able to scale the creativity. So if you're able to scale at the point where, like for me, there is a filmmaker, making films is very important. So if a filmmaker is able to make 2 films in a year, the year 2024 is where you are supposed to be planning on how to make 12 times of 2 films, which is about 24 films. I mean, I don't know if that's possible, but I mean, everything is possible if it is carefully planned. So you need to think about a way that you can be as creative and productive at the same time. That is the 4th soft skill which you need to learn. Then the next one is emotional intelligence. How much do you perceive the feelings of other people? It's empathy. How much are you able to feel that empathy? Now, we need to be very psychological aware, because people, especially if you live in places like Nigeria, a lot of people are going through a lot. I mean, if you live in places like Lagos, before you step out of your house, or maybe on your way to work, the conductor is trying to ward off the people on the road, trying to tax in. There are passengers that are angry. A lot of things go on. That's where emotional intelligence comes to play. What exactly can you use to stabilize your mind in order to be able to achieve your goals with a good and sane mind? Emotional intelligence also helps you to operate with other people, because in order for you to be able to be successful, you are working with people and you need to understand how emotions drive people. Now, the quality of anybody's life is the quality of their emotions. And for you to be able to understand emotions and know how to intelligently deploy your words or your actions or even your gesticulations is a very important place of emotional intelligence. This is not where all this stops. These are the top 5 soft skills you need to learn for 2024. Leadership, critical thinking, time management, creativity, emotional intelligence. But the interesting thing about these 5 skills is that once you've learned them properly, then the remaining 9 soft skills are easy to adapt. Now, let me tell you how. Teamwork. Teamwork is basically leadership. So as a leader, at any level at all, you can be able to do teamwork. Collaboration. It goes the same with collaboration, because teamwork is more like coming together. You could be a team lead or a team player. So you're either a subordinate or you are the superior. But when it comes to collaboration, it's more like a pair-to-pair matching. So understanding leadership, 360 leadership can help you do teamwork, collaboration. Then when it comes to adaptability, it has a lot to do with your emotional intelligence. For you to be able to tolerate other people, for you to be able to adapt, for you to be able to understand that that's your 200 naira change that the conductor is trying to fight with you over. It's bigger than that. It's not just about the 200 naira change. It's something bigger. There could be a problem with that person, or there could even be something that has gone on before he met you. And if you give in to that provocation, then you end up wasting your day and you could even get injured in cause of a fight. So adaptability, very important. Then problem solving. If you have critical thinking, you should be able to solve any single problem that comes to you. Critical thinking with a very good team as a leader, you should be able to solve any problem. Then we have flexibility. Now, flexibility has a lot to do with your time management. In order for you not to be rigid, you need to clear time where you can be able to do other things. Okay? So to have a flexible work schedule, you need to be able to do as much as possible in very little time. And that's where time management comes in. Flexibility. Innovation. Innovation has a lot to do with creativity. So you're either creating an idea from scratch, or you're innovating by synthesizing different ideas in order to be able to make something different. Then negotiation. Negotiation is a very, very important skill, especially if you are in the space of sales and marketing. Negotiation is an important skill, like a top 5 soft skill like emotional intelligence can be able to help you do. Negotiation is basically persuasion and you're trying to convince your client. So negotiation, if you have your emotional intelligence, negotiation will be much more easier. Then we have communication. Your oral English, your written English needs to be very clear. Your speaking, your writing, all this needs to be very clear in order for you to communicate effectively. And not just in you speaking or writing, you also need to be able to comprehend. Your comprehension, your understanding, your active listening, not just listening to be able to respond, but listening in order to be able to understand. It's a very important skill. Then we now have resilience. Now, resilience is more of what I'll call persistence. It cannot be supplanted by any other soft skill, including the top skills, because a lot of things will happen in the year 2024 that want to make you give up and forget that you actually have goals for the year. But what now begins to differentiate you from the other people is when you begin to remind yourself that you actually have work to do and nothing is going to be stopping you from doing that work. Now, how exactly do you do that? You need to be persistent. You need to continue to try. If one plan fails, make another plan, make another program in order to be able to achieve your top 5 skills. Your leadership, your critical thinking, your time management, your creativity, your emotional intelligence. Build a community or join a community. Critical thinking, analyze issues, think constantly, feed yourself with podcasts, with personal development books. Plan your to-do list every day for time management and blocking. Creativity, always try to build something every single time. Try to build something every now and then. When a meeting is being called, try to contribute, okay? Be more involved. Then emotional intelligence, practice it with your family, your friends, your social cycles, in the church, at home, in school, the places you visit. Very important. So I hope you've gotten value from this video today. I would like you to subscribe. I am Lawrence Nkwocha and I'll see you in the next video.